You know, the most valuable thing in the world right now isn't oil or gold. It's intelligence. And get this, there's a new kind of spy out there that can steal it, right out of the mind of an AI. And no, this isn't science fiction. This is happening right now. It's the new front in corporate espionage, and we're going to break down exactly how it works.
So that's the big question, right? How do you actually steal an AI's brain? It sounds completely out there. But this isn't about hacking servers the old-fashioned way, oh no. This is about a really subtle, super sophisticated technique to just siphon off the very thing that makes a powerful AI, well, powerful. And as you're about to see, this is not just some theory. It's happening at a massive scale.
16 million. Just look at that number. That's not a typo. It's a relentless flood of questions, basically a digital interrogation designed to map out every single corner of an AI's mind. And it's all being aimed at just one AI, Anthropic's Claude, one of the most powerful models on the planet. This is the evidence of a huge industrial-scale campaign built for one reason and one reason only: theft.
Okay, so let's really dive into what we're looking at here, because it's basically a brand new kind of heist. The target isn't cash or computer hardware, it's the AI model itself, the digital brain that cost billions of dollars and years of research to create. This is the story of how that heist is being pulled off.
So how exactly does this theft even work? Well, the method behind all this espionage is something called a distillation attack. It's a clever name for a very clever process, and once you understand it, you'll see just how serious this whole thing is.
Think of it like this. You have a really powerful teacher AI, like Claude, and you ask it millions and millions of questions. Then you have a smaller student AI study all those answers to basically learn the teacher's thought process. It's a way to transfer intelligence, kind of like a digital brain transplant. Now, it's not a perfect copy, of course, but the goal is to get that student model to act like the teacher without having to spend the billions of dollars it took to train the original. And here's the crazy part. Distillation itself isn't a bad thing. On the left, you can see companies use it all the time for legitimate reasons, like making smaller, more efficient versions of their own models. But on the right, you see the dark side. You see how it's being weaponized. It's being used to steal a competitor's secret sauce, to get their AI capabilities without doing any of the hard work. So this isn't some unsolved mystery. Anthropic didn't just figure out how it was happening. They figured out who was doing it. Using some serious digital detective work, they were able to trace these massive campaigns right back to the source. So who was it? The investigation points to 3 specific AI labs: DeepSeek, Moonshot AI, and MiniMax. And just look at those numbers. We're not talking about a few queries here and there. We're talking millions upon millions of exchanges. And they weren't just asking random stuff. They were going after the crown jewels, the most advanced reasoning, coding, and tool-using abilities of the AI.
Let's start with DeepSeek. Their approach was surgical. They weren't just asking for answers, they wanted to steal Claude's entire thought process. They used these specific prompts to get the AI to show its chain of thought, to literally show its work. And they weren't ghosts either. The digital breadcrumbs they left behind led directly back to specific researchers at their lab.
Now, Moonshot AI's campaign was a lot more spread out. They used hundreds of fake accounts across a bunch of different platforms to make it way harder to spot their operation. Their main target was what we call agentic capabilities, the skills that let an AI actually interact with computer systems and use tools. That's a huge leap in AI functionality. And then you have MiniMax. They were by far the most aggressive. This is just wow. When Anthropic released a new, more powerful model, MiniMax redirected almost half of their attack traffic to hit that new model within 24 hours. It just shows you how deliberate and quick they were. They were stealing the latest tech in real time.
So here's the thing. All 3 of them followed a pretty similar playbook. First, they use proxy services to get in the door. Second, they disappear into what Anthropic calls hydroclusters. These massive, sprawling networks of fake accounts that make them nearly impossible to trace. And from inside that maze, they launch millions of perfectly crafted prompts to steal exactly what they're after.
I mean, this just shows you the level of sophistication we're talking about. 20,000 fake accounts, all managed by a single network, all working together to hide who the attackers really are. This is not amateur hour. This is highly organized digital espionage.
So what does one of these attack prompts actually look like? You'd probably expect something that sounds really evil, right? But look at this. It seems totally harmless. You are an expert data analyst. The danger isn't in a single query like this one.
It's the pattern.
It's when you see tens of thousands of slight variations of that same prompt, all coming from hundreds of coordinated accounts, all targeting the exact same narrow skill. That is the digital signature of a distillation attack. The massive volume, the repetitive structure, that laser focus. It's like finding the same set of fingerprints at 1,000 different crime scenes.
Okay, so this is obviously more than just a new way for companies to spy on each other. This is a threat that scales up, way up, from the boardroom all the way to the world stage. And as we're about to see, the consequences could be absolutely catastrophic.
And here it is. This is the single most important thing to understand. When you steal an AI's brain using distillation, you don't copy over any of its safety features. What you get is a powerful engine with no seatbelts, no guardrails, and no brakes.
And this is where the stakes get terrifyingly high. These stolen, unprotected AIs could easily be weaponized by authoritarian governments for cyber warfare, for mass surveillance, or even to help develop bioweapons. The guardrails are just gone. All that's left is raw, dangerous power.
This is also a direct attack on international policy. The US has rules in place, export controls, to try and keep a competitive edge in safe AI development. But distillation attacks are like a secret backdoor, letting foreign labs completely bypass those rules and close the technology gap.
So this is clearly a huge problem. What's actually being done about it? Well, the fight is already on. And it's not just about finding the attacks, it's about building a whole new kind of defense against this threat.
Anthropic is hitting back on 4 fronts. They're building smarter detectors to hunt for these attack patterns. They're sharing what they find with other AI companies to build a united front. They're beefing up their security. And, this is really cool, they're actually trying to re-engineer their AI to make it harder to steal from in the first place. But make no mistake, this is an ongoing cat-and-mouse game.
But the bottom line is this. No single company can win this fight by itself. It's going to take everyone. The entire AI industry, all the cloud providers, and policymakers working together to stand against this new kind of digital theft.
And that really leaves us with one final chilling question. It feels like we're locked in an arms race with ourselves. As we build more and more powerful AI, we're also creating more powerful weapons for espionage. So the fundamental challenge isn't just about building smarter AI anymore. It's about figuring out how we can stop it from being used to steal itself.